It felt like yesterday that I was clamoring at the fact that the first season of Cuphead was amazing. You had adventures that could fit within 11-minute chunks within a vacuum alongside episodes that contributed to a grander plot. The show balanced a captivating plot with the devil, a character who I'd grow to love, spawning a subplot involving King Dice, the amazing henchman, and even making a character who was essentially a boring auditor seem engaging and interesting, alongside a plot with a charming Cup who can't seem to keep her nose out of trouble.
Sorry, boys. I like ya, but not enough to tangle with the cops. So long, fellas.
There was amazing animation, amazing music, amazing characters, and amazing storytelling wrapped up in this rubber hose package to be delivered to the front step of our Netflix homepage, wrapped in a bow of one of the most engaging cliffhangers I've ever seen. I went to bat and defended this show, and I still stand on the hill that the show provides substance and entertainment just like shows like The Owl House and Voltron. Season 2, or Season 1B for all of you sticklers out there, comes around the corner and amazes us with a continuation of Miss Chalice's storyline, getting more into this flawed character alongside the continuation of the Devil storyline. And within that, we get a running theme. The theme is Cuphead doesn't learn. It was the basis of Another Brother, Sweet Temptation, Say Cheese, Lost in the Woods, and even The Devil's Pitchfork, the season finale. Cuphead gets into easily avoidable situations, and it works out for him in the end. For some episodes, it worked really well. For others, I stood to question it. And what I was given was that this was all building up to The Devil's Pitchfork, where this was supposed to humble Cuphead.
Say goodbye to Cuphead.
Goodbye to Cuphead. Mugman?
After watching season 3, I have concluded that it wasn't Cuphead that was humbled at all. It was the devil, and obviously spoiler point from this point on. Cuphead season 3 is 11 episodes. Within those 11 episodes, 6 of those episodes featured a devil at his lowest peaks. And I don't mean lowest peaks as far as his worst performances of the show, but lowest peaks as far as his emotional state and success rate within the show. Within The Devil's Revenge, Mugman, whose scarred face marked a strong ending to season 2, is now shown to be completely content, waiting for Cuphead to save him, showing no sign that he believes that he'll be down here forever, and then he's proven right. A lot of that episode was no one taking the devil seriously.
Oh, back at last, my darling. Is that grape jelly? Ew, there's a hair on it. What? And it's bent? Unbelievable!
Within Cup's stage, the devil, who now has his pitchfork back and there is no incentive for him to take Cuphead's soul, is just another character to play against Cuphead's empty cupped bravado. And he doesn't win there. Roadkill has the devil being threatened by Stickler that because of his low productivity in soul gathering, he has to be pushed to work being himself. He gets ran over and quote adopted by Elder Kettle under the assumption that he's a cat. That works to varying results, and again, he loses. A Very Devil Christmas, one of 2 holiday-themed episodes in this 11-episode season, features the devil wanting a train set and learning about the naughty and nice list, being forced to do nice things, all for the satisfaction of doing nice things. When he's the devil, Santa, or more accurately, the Stickler elf, says that if the devil, who took the deal of trying to get on the nice list any means possible, fails to deliver all of the gifts to all of the children on the nice list, will be Santa forever. This episode also states that the devil hasn't done anything nice since day one. Kind of seems like a risk that leaves Santa and the entire world with an ungodly amount to lose, and the devil to not really gain. Although the episode has a wholesome ending, it doesn't come without the devil struggling throughout the entire runtime. Down and Out is not a devil-centric episode, but features something that I do want to highlight. The 8th episode in this season, the devil makes some very poignant remarks about how it is no longer fun to do anything.
This place used to have style. What happened to the glitz, the pizzazz, the razzle-dazzle?
He doesn't have fun being evil. He's constantly being pushed around by Stickler. He loses here, he loses there. There's a boring meeting, and although this is the catalyst for the devil to reach out to well-known evildoer King Dice and use his services after he loses the Cuphead as well, I do think that was the running theme of this season, and I'll explain why. Some of the best rivalries stem from the fact that you are interested in seeing the back and forth. Most of us who are watching are old enough to understand that in children's media, the bad guy is 9 times out of 10 not going to win. So what keeps us engaged when we know that the bad guy is not going to win? The journey. The journey can be full of laughs, the journey can be full of action, the journey can have some mystery, lore, even romance, sadness. However, the journey makes the show. It shouldn't come as a surprise that some of the best stories told within animation have an enemy that is believably a threat. Would Spider-Verse be as impactful if Kingpin did not shoot Uncle Aaron just moments after he realized who he was going to kill? Or if you want to get into something sillier and wackier, would Channel Chasers not feel like such an impactful and memorable special if Vicky had not shot future Timmy's time travel belt and caused him to phase out of existence? Or if you want to get even more silly and wacky, would the valiant hero ending and completing the mission from Henry Stickmin feel the same if we didn't get to learn along the way Charles's character and thus have wait for what is to come? We can sit here and bring up anything from Silco's demise in Arcane to Rob in The Disaster from The Amazing World of Gumball. In fact, why do people care so much about The Big Picture Show from Ed, Edd n Eddy, the last episode special whatever? It's because it contextualizes a character that we've seen for so many seasons. The journey makes the destination seem important. Within season 3, the journey did not give me any reason to care about the destination that was just the season 3 finale, and a large part of that was that the devil went from a character to care about to just another guy. I try not to rely on explaining my thoughts using tropes. I like to use terms that everyone uses and not rely on jargon, but for this one time, just bear with me. There's a trope called the Wooby. And just reading off of TV tropes, a Wooby is a name for any type of characters who make you feel extremely sorry for them. Basically, the first thing you think to say when you see the Wooby is, "Aw, poor baby." Woobification of a character is a curious, audience-driven phenomenon, sometimes divorced from the character's canonical morality. When you take a deeper look at how Wooby is defined, there are 3 aspects that are important: frequent or continuous suffering, external circumstances, and powerlessness. I plan to, in future videos, go more in depth, but for the time being, he suffers for 6 episodes. For a major part, the circumstances are tied to Stickler being on his neck, or losing his pitchfork, or needing to be taken seriously to do his job, and powerlessness. Just watch the season.
I am tired of being unappreciated by you cultural numbskulls. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves, because today's performance shall be my last.
I held hope and remained optimistic that maybe there would be this all is lost moment for the devil and he'd have an ace up his sleeve. And technically, while that is true, it didn't have the effect that you would imagine. The ace up his sleeve was Miss Chalice, another character who turned from an interesting wildcard character who you can never predict as she balanced her tough upbringing, hard-coding her selfish morality with finally being able to trust another being and developing friendship, and all of that was taken and she was just turned into another person. She only comes into play within the last 3 episodes, and while Dance with Danger is a great episode for reasons we'll get into, when you have one character who's losing all the time and another character that didn't matter in the grand scheme up until the very end, you don't magically just get high stakes the way that the last episode would make you believe. It fell flat. Another part about season 3 that was questionable had to do with that setup from season 2. I had so many people, and you can check my comments from my season 2 video, but I had so many people told me that Lost in the Woods, Another Brother, Say Cheese, these episodes weren't bad because it builds into Cuphead being humbled within what we'd come to learn is the season 3 premiere. He wasn't. He is the same Cuphead when we start season 1, and literally when season 3 ends, and also by the way when the season 3 premiere ends, it ends with Cuphead not learning a single thing, even though he could have lost his soul on multiple occasions. Essentially what I'm trying to say is, could it have hurt to have Cuphead show more remorse throughout this season just to give weight to what the season finale was going to be? Could it have hurt to have Miss Chalice appear more within that first part of the season to set up what the season 3 finale was going to be. And I'm not saying when it comes to the remorse part that you have to go full-on adult party cartoon and have the main character walking sad for hours and hours and hours, moping and crying like a lost episode creepypasta, but where is the humble?
Well, I hope you learned something from all this.
Believe me, Muggsy, this guy's on the straight and narrow, starting right...
With that said, the season does have a lot of great aspects, and I don't want this to just be full of negatives. I thoroughly enjoyed Henchman as a whole throughout this entire season. I think he's the MVP, the way that Mugman was for season 2. Despite his clear alignment with the devil, he was likable, capable of comedy, wholesome moments while towing the evil line. I enjoyed Elder Kettle within Roadkill. I found him to be both funny, incredibly wholesome with their pet goat. King Dice's reappearance in Down and Out makes it one of the best episodes of the season to me so far in my 2 times of viewing each episode. His comeback story was great, his singing was fantastic, and I enjoyed both his dynamic with Cuphead and his dynamic with the devil. I also thought Dance with Danger was a fantastic origin story episode for Miss Chalice. We see that a young Chalice was born for dancing, and I rooted for her to escape the rut of the evil orphanage. I found the scene in which we learned how she became a ghost very shocking in the way that it was presented. I also enjoyed the change of heart that Pork Rind has and special delivery, in addition to seeing Ribby and Croak again. Another great episode was Holiday Treedition. It was a simple story of Cuphead and Mugman going out to find the perfect tree. We got to see Pork Rind again from episodes such as Dangerous Mugman. There was a lot of action, adventure, thrills, and comedy. I enjoyed the introduction of well-known classical music pieces when Cuphead and Mugman are searching for the perfect tree. Them rushing downhill to rescue said perfect tree felt straight out of the game itself, with the sawmill scene being icing on the cake. This was the closest I felt to the enjoyment I had with seasons 1 and 2, and that's unfortunate because this is a holiday themed episode. I will even give the show a massive amount of credit for the way that they handled Don't Answer the Door, the second episode of season 3. While Baby Bottle has its fair share of fans and critics, and by the way, Baby Bottle is the second episode of season 1, they made sure not to make Don't Answer the Door just be Baby Bottle 2.0 and introduce the aspect of Baby Bottle needing to be saved, Elder Kettle pulling pranks, and a bear.
It's got Baby Bottle!
Well, I guess that solves that problem.
Cuphead! Baby Bottle's a monster, but we can't let it get eaten by a bear! And people say I'm the obnoxious one.
Getting around to that last episode, it sets up that the devil made an offer to Miss Chalice that she can tap dance in the mortal world again, but will owe a favor to the devil in due time. I will give credit that having Chalice have a change of heart and put her life on the line, knowing that she could have easily given up Cuphead and Mugman, showed a lot of guts and made her appear admirable. I will give all the props in the world for an amazing dance number, and that's coming from someone who doesn't really care for musical or dance numbers within animation all that much. I thought that the build up to having King Dice, Stickler, Ribby, and Croak, and the rest of the town witnessing this grand battle made me understand that this was to feel important. This episode was written in a way where had the journey leading up to it been handled better, I would literally be rambling here for hours about how season 3 of Cuphead was the best season so far. This season is by no means bad, but it did leave me feeling that if the team took the devil more seriously, this season would have been as captivating as the seasons prior. Until then, what did you guys think of the show? Let me know in the comments down below. And until next time, take care. Alpha out.